In today's video, I'm going to talk about another album celebrating an anniversary this year. It was the first Christian metal album to gain mainstream success. I'm talking about To Hell with the Devil by the band Stryper. The album was released on October 24th, 1986 on Enigma Records, celebrating 35 years on that particular date. So the whole Christian metal genre is a very interesting one. It's not a specific metal genre, since every metal subgenre exists under like the Christian spectrum. Whether it's glam, thrash, death, or even black metal, there is a Christian band playing that type of music. Some Christian bands try to be copies of different like secular bands, to attract a Christian audience, but other bands are very talented and unique. So regardless of your beliefs, there is a lot of good music to be found in this subgenre. Stryper was the first Christian metal band to gain mainstream success. They formed in 1983, then they released the Yellow and Black Attack. The band was actually, they have been active in like two different time periods, first in the 80s and then later like after 2010. In my opinion, their later period is the better one. They adopted a heavier sound. But out of the albums from the 80s, this is by far the best one. Also the best-selling album. It was certified platinum in the US. So the name Stryper comes from the King James Bible, and it's a passage from Isaiah 53:3. But he was wounded for his transgressions, he was bruised for his iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. So the stripes were a reference to the whiplash scars on Jesus Christ given to him by Pontius Pilate. The band also uses that passage, Isaiah 53:3, in their album cover, and it's a reference to the suffering servant. Stryper was also known to throw Bibles into the crowd during the live shows, and they use the numbers 777, as opposed to like the 666 used by many bands. The number 7 is associated with perfection, even though 777 doesn't really appear anywhere in the Bible. So on this album, they have a glam metal sound. There are some soft ballads, there's some hard rockers. We got some twin guitar solos. We got Michael Sweet singing mostly more like a high-pitched, a very powerful vocal style. The album To Hell with the Devil has 11 songs, so let me talk about them now. So the first song is called Abyss, To Hell with the Devil, just a short instrumental, kind of sets the tone for the album. It's only 1 minute 21 seconds. Next is the title track, To Hell with the Devil. The song is very 80s glam metal sound. It has the twin guitar lead melodies and the power chords. Michael Sweet sings the first verse in a very powerful way, and the lyrics are about like rejecting the devil. The song also has a sing-along chorus and melodic lead guitar playing. There's also a flashy guitar solo, and that was something common with the glam metal scene at that time. Next is Calling on You. So this was a single, and they had a music video that was popular on MTV. This is another rocker, a little more laid back than the previous song, and this one has big power chords and melodic vocals. The song is complete with backing vocals. They add to the melody and has a sing-along chorus, and probably why it was a popular song. Next is Free, and this was a song that was popular from the album. More of a power ballad, kind of starts out with a melodic lead guitar section, has some chugging rhythm guitars. Another catchy, memorable song with the backing vocals and the chorus, and the song has a typical sound common with like 80s glam metal. Next is a ballad. Honestly, now, in my opinion, their ballads were always like very like soft rock. I mean, like the ones from the 80s. I do like the harder rocking songs, but it's a soft piano ballad. Michael Sweet sings in a very soft tone. It's a good song. Lyrics are very well written. The song does start to pick up the pace as it moves along, and on the song they brought in someone to play keyboards. They recorded the song in the studio. Next is The Way. This is probably one of my favorites, and probably the heaviest song from their 80s period. Has a faster pace, like the guitar riff is a little more like traditional heavy metal, closer to like a band like Judas Priest. The song's a very hard rocker. You even hear some more power in Michael Sweet's vocals on this one. Next is Sing Along Song. It's a mid-paced rocker. You do hear the bass guitar, carry the rhythms in the song. There are some verse sections and there are some backing vocals that add to the melody. It's a very catchy and memorable song, you know, backed by some power chords and some guitar licks. The drums also play a major role in the song, and they stand out like amongst the other instruments. Next is Holding On, a typical glam metal song. I do like the drums on the song. They do have a pretty nice heavy beat. The song is a mid-paced rocker, has some melodic vocals. You know, like most of the other songs, has the backing vocals add to the melody and the lead guitar melodies. Next is Rockin the World. It's a heavy song with some chugging guitars in the intro and the first verse. The song's a little heavier, has a sound maybe closer to a band like Twisted Sister, but it still has those like melodic vocals and lead guitar fills. The guitar solo is very good. It stays close to the main melody of the song, and the song also has a pretty cool sing-along chorus. Next is another soft ballad called All of Me. Reminds me a lot of Beth by Kiss. Has that like keyboard sound, that orchestra feel. Michael Sweet sings in a higher register and a softer tone in this one. Final song is called More Than a Man. It's a rocker. It has everything you expect from a Stryper song: the melodic lead guitar playing, the power chords, the hard rocking drum beat. Really good way to close out the album. It's a really hard rocker and has that melodic glam metal sound, something that made the band very popular. So in conclusion, this is a very solid album, definitely my favorite from the 80s period. All the songs are very good, not really any filler on the album. First 7 songs are killer, and my only complaint is that probably the album didn't really need 2 soft ballads, but those songs were popular back in the 80s when they were played live. I do recommend checking out some of their newer albums, as they are a lot heavier than the ones from the 80s. That is it. Tomorrow I'll be back with some death metal, celebrating 20 years, or actually 30 years, death with the album Human. Some classic rock with Pink Floyd's Metal, celebrating 50 years. This is JC Rockin Metal Reviews. My name is John. I did some other videos on the topic of Christian metal. If you're interested, I will link those right over there. And that's all. I'll see you all in the next one.